I'm going to be building a concrete guard tower, and you can use this to as a guide if you wanted to build a concrete house or something similar. You will need a bunch of concrete raw material, and you will need a lot of steel. You can earn steel very easily by just dismantling weapons from some kind of area with lots of enemies, like Corvega. Take all their weapons, take them back to your workshop, and dismantle them. Now, I'll also be going through what each piece does. This is just the normal concrete floor. This is what it looks like when it's placed. If you leave it in blue, you can't really see anything, but if you put it red, then it lets you see the material. And you can use this this is good to use on a flat surface. Now, while there is the concrete foundation, which takes 8 steel and 4 concrete, if you have Far Harbor, you can go over to the barn materials, and it's the first floor, and it only takes concrete. And I like the floor texture on this versus the concrete, but today we are just doing concrete. Now this is the floor upper. This is what you use to make a second floor. The bottom part acts as the ceiling, and the top part acts as a second floor. Now these are a curve. They are for the curved walls, and they actually will help you later when you get into some trouble spots. Square floor small, but you can also use these for roof, and I'll show you how to do that later. And these are for the angled walls. These require wood, so also make sure you have some wood. So we'll put some floors down. This one's just requires steel, but yeah, a little low on concrete, so we'll just use the steel floors. Or in the walls. This is the normal concrete wall. They will usually snap on to any floor piece. Unlike other materials, they snap on to the outside of the floor instead of on top of it. Concrete materials are also fun to work with because you can sink them into the ground. They can't sink onto a solid object like wood or carpet. If you get them in the ground or some kind of concrete area, they'll sink. That's why they're really fun to work with. This is the door. Unlike the other pieces, the door doesn't usually sink, but you can make it sink. You can make a lot of pieces sink using the concrete. I like to call it the pillar. What you do is you highlight the pillar, you hold down select until they're all blue, and then you can make it sink. And this is just to get a little bit past right there. If you need to sink this, you'll still be able to fit through the door. If you go too low, it's not going to work. So put the door here. Now you'll notice that there's a gap right here. That is what the pillars are for. You have to fill in the little gaps. So these side walls, or if you want to add a little bit of space to the side, we'll get to these later. These are the angled walls. If you wanted to make like an octagon or a hexagon or something like that. And then also doorways for the angled walls. And these are the curved walls. I like using these. And here is, these are roofs. Now you can, a roof will only fit these types of walls. You have to get creative if you want to put a roof over something curved. So I won't be using the roofs right away. They'll come later. So what we'll be doing right here is we'll be putting up these, the upper floors. Yeah! Two stairs you can use. You can use the tall ones. These are more for like, let's say this is up higher than it needs to be, and your settlers can't just walk in here. These connect to the front there. There's a little step. Okay, so what do I do right here? Well, we're going to leave that open. We're just going to stack on top of it. I'm going to try a little trick. What's nice is this set lets you have barred windows, or you can have a wire mesh. Sometimes. See if I can get it to do it. There we go. Sometimes you can glitch them into each other. Not only do you have
truly inspire me to be a better
not only
robot.
do you have
Did that sound strange?
barred windows, but now you have still wired windows.
Everything seems to be proceeding
It
according
takes
to
a
plan,
little
sir.
while for it to get in there. But once you do, it's really nice. This will be a short watchtower. It'll only be 3 floors high, or 2 floors high, I guess. I could make it higher, but maybe not on Boston Airport. So when you build stairs, you want to make sure, you gotta test them out, make sure that you can go up and down them without getting stuck. Alright, that worked. So what am I gonna do for these other stairs? Well, they'll just go right above these. Make sure it works. It works. Oh, it's not fitting. Yeah, okay. Sometimes if something doesn't fit, you take off the other piece, then you make it fit. And you put the other piece on. So, we'll just put a roof on here. Oh, I'm still on floors, no wonder. Okay, here we go. Now let's say you don't want stairs up here. You wanted to make a roof right here. There are no roof pieces to fill this gap. That's what where these curved pieces come in. Okay, we're gonna take out all the curves. We'll put a small square piece in. We're gonna use these side pieces I was talking about earlier. Forgot to put the other square in. Yeah! So what are we going to do for a roof right here? We can use the floor pieces, but they won't connect, right? That's where these bolts come in. You put this in, any of these pieces, even if this isn't curved, put this in. Take one of these curved pieces and you can put this at the top or the bottom. I've got the one on the bottom already. Put this at the top. Now you go over to the square piece and it'll connect to this piece. And if you don't want this curve here, you can put in these half wall pieces over here and just connect, you know, over there. We'll just leave the curve in for now. Get that curved piece with the floor. Should just snap into place. There. So, here we have a small 2-floor house. If you wanted to make it into a guardhouse, you would add the second stairs I had earlier. So we'll do that. We'll re-add those stairs. This could be the guard's bedroom. Down here could be storage for miscellaneous stuff. Up here you can put a guard post. Oh, this is Boston Airport, so the only guard post you can put up here is the Vault Tech stuff. So let's say you put a guard post up here. Generally, I recommend putting up a fence so settlers don't run off a building, because they will. Concrete materials have you covered. Concrete structures. Go into the miscellaneous structures. can build railings. There are railings for each type of wall. Fortunately, you can't, some of the railings can't be placed unless they're like lined up. So, you have to be creative right here. You have the scaffolding materials. They won't go into the concrete, but will go into the steel part. But they're, there we go. We got a little guardhouse, guard tower. But let's say you wanted to add maybe a divider in here. Let's say we wanted to add a divider right here and maybe a doorway. How do we do that? Yeah, we'll try that. And you can't be highlighting anything when you go to select stuff, otherwise it will select if you're highlighting, so. Now if you use a normal wall, it's going to take up a lot of space. It's going to make it harder to place furniture. And same with this one. This one, so what do? We're not going to rely on concrete materials for that. The best materials you can use are either steel walls. We'll go down to the steel wall I'm talking about, this one. So it's pretty solid. Oh yeah, put that guard post up there. He has to switch guard posts. So these walls will fit inside concrete materials. They will not snap in place, but that's fine if you're using the concrete floors. You can line them up really well. You just place one, get right there, and just line it up. Now, if you're having trouble seeing,
I'm detecting high levels of jealousy and envy. Oh, wait, that's me.
Before you enter a workshop mode, turn on your
My onboard functions are operating at full capacity.
Wall. Oh wow, the robot's really stupid. Let's get rid of this so he'll quit trying to come up here. Alright. Now if you wanted a door, you have to get creative. Doorways are, they have like a little roof extension on both this one and the wooden one. And it looks like the wooden one's taller. Let's see if we can get this to normally fit in there. It does not look like it will. Yes, that's completely red. So, as an option, you could just leave this open, as is. Or, we'll get the concrete pillar out. go from back here, though. There we go. And we have a doorway into what could be the bedroom. And we can take this and snap it. We can snap it to this now. But it's been sunk in. So, there we go. Now if you wanted to add power, let's say you wanted, this is your house, and you wanted to add power. Alright, so we're going to add power instead of making this a guard tower. So, we'll just take all these down. You can dismantle them for 1 steel, but I'll probably be building with them some more, so we'll just leave those up. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of the stairs. Put this little ceiling down. So every time you turn the generator on and off, it'll make different sounds. Some of them are quieter, some of them are louder. Also, when you place a generator, whatever direction you point this thing in, is where the smoke will blow. Simple delete. Oh, I don't have enough ceramic. So you would put this, say, in the center, the power pylon, and then you would take these power conduits and put them in the 4 corners. This works for a 2-story, but for a 3-story, you have to kind of get inventive or creative. And this will power any interior lights you put on the inside of your little house. But I ran out of materials, so we have a small house built mostly out of concrete. So go through a couple of the tricks again. You have a concrete wall. You want to put a floor, or you want to put a roof using one of these half pieces. But there are no roof pieces that would fit in this area. Here, I'll correct that right there. So there's no roof pieces that will fit this area. What do? You can't use the floor small pieces because they won't snap. I mean, they'll snap down here. They won't snap up there. What do you do? Easy. You get one of these out, one of the curved pieces. Connect it to the end of the wall. You go one over and get the floor curve, which will connect down here. It'll also connect up here. And you go over. And you take these out. Put that wall back in. Now you have a roof. You have a half roof. And then if you wanted to make a second floor, there's two things you can do. There's one of them is you can put a ceiling up. And you put a piece on top of that. And you go over to the floors. You connect the floor to that. Or, instead of making it complicated, just use the floor upper, which is both pieces sandwiched together. Now, the only space you need for stairs is two pieces, like a half a floor. This is all the space you need to go up and downstairs. You don't need a full block. And it's pretty nice to put the stairs like on the side instead of in the middle. I'll get to the angled pieces. Let's say angled pieces snap kind of in a weird way. You can make a kind of almost a straight wall with them. Back to the normal walls. It can be hard to get these to snap together. Looks like I need this to turn around. There we go. So now we have an angled piece here. And let's say I want to put a floor down for this, but how? How do you put a floor down for this? Well, you'd use the square pieces here. And then you come over to this piece right here. This piece is made to fit the angled pieces. Should snap on. Sometimes you have to take off the other pieces first. And then snap it on. And then put those pieces back on. Now let's say you just wanted this part to be your building. How would you do that? You can either go by the wall here, you know, using the floor, or you can take these little pieces, little end pieces, use them as a guide. would you put a roof on this? Okay, so you would just use this as another roof piece because it does connect at the top. And if you wanted to, you could use it. See, you could use it as a floor or a roof, and you don't have to. You could even use it for normal square pieces. But we're gonna keep things simple here. So we'll go over to rooftops, and you know what? We'll use the use these. Oh, I see the problem there. See, this is supposed to be on the outside, not the inside. So what we need to do is put the roofs on first. Then go to walls. There we go. An odd-shaped house made out of completely out of concrete materials. I do need to add another end piece on the inside here. As you can see, the walls are all on the exterior of the floor, whereas other materials, they're standing on top of the floor. But yeah, so it's not too hard to build a house. I do like the concrete materials because you can sink them into the floor. You can they oftentimes will go where you want them to. You can take one and you can put it like right here, and then you can take another and you can snap it to this little end piece so it goes through something else. They're really versatile. But they do consume a lot of steel and a lot of concrete, and thankfully concrete's cheap. You can just buy it from a trader in I think 150 and 250 stacks, something like that. Steel is easy to farm. You can just dismantle pipe weapons and assault rifles and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, so we'll go through all. I will show you a prime example of using concrete to make an apartment building at the end, right before I end the video. This is the 4th floor apartment building. It is using concrete materials for the walls, and I'm using several different other materials for the floors. But as you can see, I'm using the curved walls. This is a width of 2 floors. I'm using the half floors so that each apartment is rounded. So there's a place for a bed, chair, dresser, table, all sort, and a sink. And every apartment is themed. So the 1st floor are workers. 2nd floor are gamers. Third floor are Nuka fanatics. And the fourth floor is the penthouse. You have a kitchen up here. You've got, I haven't finished up here quite yet. One of the, I think this is the overseer's room. This is my character's room. He's got his own refrigerator. So yeah, I mean, you can do quite a bit. You can, I mean, you can build solely with concrete, or you can combine other of the structures. Like, these are the little railings out of the wood structures. I'm using them in conjunction with the concrete stairs and walls.
Hi, how are you?